Welcome back and thanks for keeping it Channel 1. And right now, let's first of all bring in the CEO of Jumia, Chappatte, of course, to help us delve much more into the online and e-commerce. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Perhaps we can start with how the e-commerce has been, and especially now that we have COVID-19 in the country.
Yeah, I mean, it's been interesting to see the evolution for sure. Over the last year, we've seen a big shift in behavior, customers starting to buy everyday products, your food products, your household products, more and more online. And turning to the service more as a critical service, as opposed to, and part of the everyday life, as opposed to something that you use once in a while.
And let's get to e-commerce when it comes to food. What is Jumia doing to support? Of course, we have had restaurants shut down and hotels. What is Jumia doing to chip in to help fill in the void during this period?
Yeah, it's a tough time for restaurants, for hotels, as you mentioned, across the country, with the restrictions that have come through. I think everyone understands it. It's a question of what can we do to save jobs. We as an industry, we as Jumia are there to provide services to restaurants and to hotels, and allowing them to do good quality home delivery. So customers can come onto Jumia Food and order from their favorite restaurants, but also order from their favorite grocery stores or supermarkets, so they can avoid the crowds, stay home, and in doing so, save jobs at these restaurants.
And by your estimation, perhaps by what percentage has delivery of food spiked during the period when you do comparison before COVID-19 and now?
It's definitely growing quickly. We've seen, we've seen the restaurant side quite disrupted. I mean, growing well, but a bit disrupted given the evening curfews. And you have to remember that 50% of sales from restaurants happen in the evening meal time. And so that's the piece that's been somewhat disrupted on the restaurant side. The piece that's growing even faster is the grocery home delivery. So people choosing to avoid malls, avoid supermarkets, and order from their groceries home. That's growing very quickly.
How has the partnership with restaurants, perhaps and hotels, been? And perhaps in terms of figures, can we have a rough idea of how you've partnered and how many restaurants perhaps you've partnered with?
Sure. I mean, over the last year, we've increased by about 50% the number of restaurants that are selling on the Jumia Food platform. That's both in Nairobi, but also in other major towns that we're starting to expand into on the Jumia Food side. In Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, we're starting to grow there and to onboard key restaurants there. So we're up to about 500 restaurants in the country today.
And have you perhaps introduced contactless deliveries, and we of course have to follow all the COVID-19 protocols?
Yeah, absolutely. So whether it's on Jumia Food or on Jumia, all of our riders are trained on contactless delivery and cashless delivery. And what that means very practically is, it's safe to order online. I think that's the key point. The rider keeps a safe distance from you as they're handing over the packages, whether that be food or products. You're doing so in a way that prevents any contagion.
In the last couple of weeks, we've witnessed, or the last 2-3 months, we've witnessed a spike in the prices of oil in the country, which has really put a strain on Kenyans. Do we expect perhaps you will also increase the delivery fees, owing to the fact that, of course, your riders have to use fuel and your vehicles as well?
No, I mean, one of the things that we're trying to do as we continue to grow is to actually reduce the cost of delivery. And so in many places, delivery fees are going down on the Jumia Food platform as well as on the Jumia platform. So that's a trend that we hope to continue, prices going down rather than up.
Of course, when you talk about food delivery and online food business, it's quite a delicate balance, especially now with that we have COVID-19. What do you think the government perhaps should do more to support and boost such initiatives like Jumia Foods?
I think probably the most pragmatic thing that could be done to save jobs is to allow restaurants to do home delivery for the evening meal. As I mentioned, about 50% of revenue for restaurants is the evening meal. And so the time that we set curfew or allow operations for restaurants to continue has a very big impact on the number of jobs that we save in the restaurant industry. And so I think shifting back the timeline, allowing restaurant staff and delivery riders to operate, say, till 9, till 10 p.m. would have a very big difference in terms of the jobs that we can save for the industry.
Perhaps as we wrap up this, what is the future of e-commerce, and especially when it comes to food? A lot of Kenyans are skeptical when it comes to food. They need everything handled right. Of course, there are taxes. So what is the future of e-commerce, and when it comes to food? Of course, in developed countries, the business is quite robust.
Yeah, I think we're going to see rapid growth in fast delivery, 20, 30-minute delivery of groceries, including fresh products. I think that's going to start to expand in every town around Kenya, so people can order their groceries within 15, 20 minutes. And we're going to see also a significant number of sort of more affordable meals growing on these different platforms, so that people can order not only once a month for a big occasion, but your 150, 200 shilling meals will become more widely available too.
Indeed, thank you so much. Meals on Wheels it is, and of course it has been a very interactive Q&A session. Thank you indeed so much, Sam, for making time for us, and of course wish you all the best and the same.
Thank you.
I've been speaking to Sam Chappatte, who is the CEO of Jumia Kenya.